These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording on Friday, January 19th. After the Celtics' tough loss to the Denver Nuggets, they fell 102-100 in a close game. Battled it out for the majority of the contest. It was pretty close throughout. Great games from Jokic and Murray. Tough shooting nights for the Jays. Jayson, Tatum, Jaylen Brown. A rough fourth quarter stretch on offense for the Celtics. And just a tough game against a really good team. I'm sure we're going to have some fun conversations during this. And I'll let you go first, I guess.
Why do you get upset?
I don't get upset. I just don't like being angry. And I know I'm going to get angry because you're going to get angry because you like being angry.
Well, I think there's stuff to be angry about. But I think, to your credit, this is not like a sky is falling situation. There are things to be very upset about, which I will present. But as far as the season goes, you can't be like the season's over. The thing that you can be very upset about is the home win streak's over. That sucks. And this was a sucky way to lose it. But again, Nuggets, good team. Murray, Jokic, good. Played excellent games today. Neither one of them was really missing shots. It was really tough to stop them. The problem comes when you get the rest of the team to play like Jack and I, and you really can't do a whole lot about it and capitalize. And that's what really sucked. And when you look at the final score, you're like, wow, they held them to 102. And this is a trend we've kind of picked out a couple times. Anytime the Celtics score less than, 111, it usually doesn't go very well. Tonight's another night you can add to the list. Kind of sucks because it was a fun game. They played pretty decent defense. Denver couldn't buy a three-pointer. They were 26% from three. And the Celtics said, hey, buddy, all right, we'll do the same thing, 31.8% as a team, and Tatum and Brown combined to shoot 2 of 17, which is enough to put your head in the microwave. Really not great. Porzingis no-showed in the second half. He scored 15 points to start and then fucked off. You can pick out just about anybody but Derek White and be like, that guy really probably should have been better. And even then, and he wasn't perfect either, but he was mostly pretty great. He finally missed a clutch 3.
Yeah, I would have put my money on that, my house on that going in, that corner 3.
Well, I'm behind when I watch these games, and I have your tweet notifications on, but I was at a bar. I was not home, and so I didn't have my phone right next to me, but I had seen that the screen lit up, so I assumed it was going in. But I think you tweeted about the defense, the possession prior. Go ahead.
Yes, probably. No, you're good. It was a tough game, man. It was brutal. I will say, so I assume we're going to talk about the Tatum threes. I wanted to watch them and get an actual thought process, like rewatching it.
There was a couple that were bad, but it wasn't like I hate my life.
Yeah, and the videos aren't out yet, so I couldn't watch them. For what it's worth, my take. He shot 1 of 8. Bad, right?
Are they not out?
No, you can click on them, but it doesn't pop up with the video. It shows up with the hex map. So, he shot 1 of 8. 2, he's been hot lately. I'm not going to complain about him taking 8 threes because he's been hot. 3, 8 threes was a third of his shots. It's not like he took 14 shots and 8 were threes. I thought it was a pretty good distribution of shots. He shot 1 of 8 from 3. However, he shot, what would that make it? 8 of 16 from the field. It's not bad, right? He shot 50% from 2-point range. So there's that. 3, as much as it felt like it was bad timing, he did learn and adjust. Of all of his 8 threes, 7 of them were in the first half. He only took 1 3 in the second half. So it's not like
he read the room.
Exactly. He read the room and he adjusted, which I thought was almost more important than the fact that he didn't shoot well from 3. I will also say it's not an excuse. You could see the frustration of him not getting calls. And I almost think, and this is not like a refs thing, but he was driving to the lane. He wasn't getting calls. And I think that frustration almost affected his game. This isn't this.
Yeah, it's a bad thing.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm bringing it up as a bad point.
Okay.
Don't waiver hit, motherfucker. It's bad, and so I think that affected his aggressiveness, or maybe not aggressiveness, just his composure almost, which is a bad thing that needs to be fixed in crunch time. I do think he did a good job of being aggressive though, and for what it's worth, the fact that he didn't get calls didn't change the fact that he probably should have made a couple more of those layups in the paint. Like the point is some shots that usually go down for him in the paint didn't, right? And that's a difference in a 2-point game. Like I thought the shots he was getting when he got down low were not bad looks. He just wasn't making some of the ones he usually makes. And I do credit the Nuggets. I think they played him pretty well throughout the course of the game. As far as the Jaylen threes, I don't think he took a bad one. He just did not make any of them.
He missed a lot of catch and shoots, but it's just like annoying. And to Jaylen's credit, we've had moments like this throughout the season where, for the most part, Jaylen has been very consistent, which is great to see, building off of last year. But there have been a couple games, I don't remember off the top of my head what the last one was, where he really couldn't buy a three. I'm not going to count Milwaukee. It was maybe it was OKC, I think. And we went through it, and it was just like, wow, like these are just not going in. It's not him forcing. Like
It was
I
OKC.
really didn't think Jaylen forced that much. I think maybe he took a bad fadeaway here or there down the stretch. I didn't like that he missed the free throws, if you want me to complain about him. He's been better at free throw shooting this year, but I mean, buddy, you got to make your free throws. If that is the one time I can be like, I would have made that.
Yeah, he was 0 of 8 from 3 against OKC. It was the game where they just left him open at the 3-point line. But it's tough. I will say, not that like it changes anything. It felt like he was almost shooting slower tonight. Like he was going through the motion a lot slower. It does like I said, it doesn't affect anything, but it was just weird to see him like sort of change his 3-point motion for some reason. I don't know why. I would have to go back and watch, but it felt like he was shooting differently in this game for whatever reason. It was just tough, man. Like it was just not the night for them to have rush shooting nights, and it sucks that it happened. But like, that's why this loss isn't the most concerning for me. I will say I had a conversation on Twitter with somebody who was like comparing this to as bad as the Warriors loss, which I was like, I don't think it's even in the same ballpark. And then we settled on the conclusion of the similarity of poor late game execution shines through, and I do think that is a concern for this team. Like, I think they get so sucked up in the fact that the game naturally just slows down by the end of games because that's what happened. They don't play with the same up-tempo ball movement, push the pace offense that like works for them. Like that's what makes them such a good team is that they zip the ball around, they play quick offense and they catch the ball, they go, right? The Nuggets are playing slow, and so they almost get sucked into this naturally. Like it is a natural thing in basketball to slow down the offense and slow things down at the end of the game because you want to maximize how many times, whatever, like it's just this is how basketball is like naturally played, and that doesn't fit the Celtics. And so they either need to find better ways of executing in that space or go against the grain and just keep playing the way that should work and has worked for them in the first few quarters of the games. And so I think that's a point that is, I don't know if concerning is the right word, but that needs to be the first issue addressed after this loss, in my opinion.
So I agree. And there's nothing I hate more than the combination of stuff we saw today, which is being brain dead in the last X amount of minutes in a close game, giving up offensive rebounds and missing free throws. I'm going to say this. This version of the Celtics that we saw today is the team that we had last year watching them. You couldn't trust them as far as you could throw them in a close game. However, this season, they have done a far better job of taking these close games. They haven't been perfect. They've lost them. They started off very poorly with a couple overtime losses. Pistons is a tough one to cite because they suck, but Pistons was a good late game execution game. I want to trash Tatum for being terrible down the stretch, but last week he lit up the Timberwolves for 26 fourth quarter and overtime points, and he took over and helped them win a close game. There have been instances this year, the opening night game against the Knicks, they came out and set the tone, said this is going to be different. We're going to win these tight games. Tonight just didn't go their way. We saw a lot of regression, I think, tonight of the slow-paced offense. I felt like we haven't seen that as much in closer games as of late.
I agree.
But tonight, all of the old 2023, 2022 Celtics bad habits, they were like, hey, remember me? Tatum, I'm familiar with your game, misses the game winner at the buzzer. Someone needs to make a compilation of Tatum missing buzzer beaters.
I didn't hate the
They
shot,
don't go in.
but it was like, I think they could have fought for a better one. I credit Joe for calling the timeout when the first play didn't work, right? I think that's progress.
First play almost sent me into cardiac arrest. It was awful.
He called the timeout. Again, credit the Nuggets. They played really good defense. They stopped the Celtics at every turn. They tried to get a switch or a mismatch or a drive or whatever. I had a conversation with John Smyers, who was very angry on Twitter. He said something
this.
along the lines of like, Tatum should have just drive past KCP. I said there were 4 seconds left. Like, what do you mean? He goes, KCP's like he's Jayson Tatum. I said, do you want him to phase through him and then into the 2 defenders they were ready to send help in the paint with? And he's like, you could have gotten a call. I said, Tatum didn't get a single call in the final 5 minutes. Why would he have drove into the lane and taken a contested layup, like knowing he wasn't getting the calls? Like it was tough. And I'm not saying it was a great look, but I'm saying like saying he should have just done this is not like the end all be all of like what definitely would have happened, right? There's factors that goes into it. Like Tatum explained after the game, he said the Nuggets had a foul to give, so I wasn't sure if they were going to foul. He said he rushed the shot. So like you understand why he was in his head about that. It still stinks. Like you want to get the shot off before they foul, I guess, in one sense, but at the same time, like let them foul you and then take the fewer time. It was an awkward situation. There wasn't a lot of time left. I didn't hate the shot. I didn't love the shot. Do I think Tatum could have drove or did something better? Sure. But do I blame him for like taking a relatively open mid-range shot? It was just tough. It was a tough shot. Also, the commenter who gets mad at us for saying like, I hope you listen to this video and listen to me say like 12 times in the last 2 minutes.
That really got under your skin. This is too mentions.
Yeah, I just hate people that try to police the way we do the show. Just don't fucking listen, buddy. Like, what do you want?
So, I don't know. I mean, listen, the retort to this is, wow, Sam, there was 5 seconds left. But that shot felt really rushed to me.
It was rushed.
I didn't think that he really like take that. He probably did. He looked from the TV broadcast angle. He looked very off balance. He almost looked like he lost his footing before he took
it was
the
awkward.
shot.
Yeah.
So before he even threw it up, I knew it wasn't going in.
I will also say,
said that as soon
I'll
as
let you continue. Yeah, I was gonna say it was also a very awkward catch.
No. I just meant the fact that he had the ball.
I know, but I'm saying it was also like not a clean inbounds. Yeah. Like he caught it like this, had to bring it down. So I think it was just not a motion. And he admitted he rushed it, which again, it's not an excuse. It's just like he rushed a shot. It's tough. Like that's the difference between a win and overtime. At that point, the one I think we disagree about is the transition one where he got stripped by Jokic. I know you didn't like it. I was fine with it. But we can.
I watched it again. I still don't like it, but like I can see like what your angle is, but like at the same time, I'm just like 2-point game, or was it a 1-point game at that point?
It's a 2-point game.
Possession game.
It was 1 or 2 100. Yeah.
Game on the line. Maybe don't take on the whole team by yourself.
It was a 1-point game. I think you're right.
It was a 1-point game. Maybe wait for support on that one.
I understand that thought process. Like I get it, and I don't disagree with it wholeheartedly. And I do think, was the shot clock off at that point too? Could he?
No, I think there was like 50 seconds left.
Are you sure? I thought it was way lower. Anyways, I'll double check while I'm talking. But the reason I'm pretty okay with it is because yes, he pushed the ball. Yeah, there's 18 seconds left. Shot clock would have been off.
Okay.
So I could, like, if he had pulled it back out and called a timeout, waited for the last shot, sure, I'm fine with that. However, like I said earlier, this team plays best when they play fast, when they get out, when they go. Like, he had a lane. I don't like. Yes, it was X on 1 or whatever it was. He had a lane. He's Jayson Tatum, and if Jokic hadn't poked it out, it was an easy layup. And even he did poke it out, he had an open layup. He just missed the layup. Like, it's not like he got it poked out and lost the ball and turned it over. He had an open layup that he just missed. So I'm okay with it because he just fucking missed the layup. Like, you can be mad he missed the layup, but I'm not mad at the shot because it's a layup. Like, he just missed it, in my opinion. Like, that's the way.
Of all the forced shots I've watched Tatum take this year, this one definitely isn't the worst.
I don't think it was that bad at all.
I mean, Jokic poked it away. Like, yeah, Jokic poked it away. He was one of 4 defenders sitting there waiting for him. Like, the numbers caught up to him. Whether he got to the basket or not, he did, and he almost made it. But it didn't have to be that difficult. He could have just waited, got everything going. I know your point is absolutely right. Like, pulling out just to wait and sit there and then throw up a bad shot anyway, as annoying as it is. And I do want to say this because I was initially, my angle would be, I don't think Tatum should take the last shots. It should be somebody else. Nobody else had it in the fourth quarter today. Brown, 1 of 2, missed 2 free throws. Porzingis, 0 of 2. Derek White, 1 of 3. Drew Holiday was 2 of 2, but, it's just not going to be him, I don't think. You're not drawing up a Drew Holiday play, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Not exactly to your point, but on the same line. Porzingis had 4 shots in the second half. Joe admitted as much. He's like, probably should have been better. Like, probably should have moved the ball. Probably should have gotten distribution. Like, it just wasn't a great offensive execution in the second half overall,
That's
which
the
is weird because it
problem.
does. I know it does
why
feel like they've
everyone's
been
mad.
Yeah, a lot better this year overall. It was just a rough second half in this one. Defensively, I don't know if you disagree. I thought they played pretty damn well defensively. Jokic and Murray just didn't fucking miss anything.
Yeah.
Like, they did not miss any
Jokic and
shots.
Murray not missing played into it. And, I went through the box score and was like, listen,
Yeah.
everybody else on the team was ass. But I was pretty annoyed at stretches when they were just not getting stops.
The NFL season is wrapping up, and there's still time to get in on the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets, guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. Now, the app is so easy to use, and there are so many different ways to bet, like live same-game parlays, find bets in the new Explore tab, make a parlay in the Parlay Hub, the best way to find popular parlays, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/Boston and make your first bet a layup. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
I understand it, and like that's the correct emotion to have, but like half the shots they were taking were like hand in the face, fadeaway jumper in the lane. Like, what do you like? I guarantee you, because we were talking about it up on the 9th floor. I'm gonna look at it tomorrow, and I can bring it up if you remind me or if I remember on the pod that's gonna drop Sunday. I guarantee you, all 4 of Jamal Murray's only misses were the only wide open.
I saw
shots
you
he
tweet
took.
that,
Dude.
Well,
He
yeah,
made
you'll have to
every
pull it up.
contested shot, but missed all of the open ones. It was incredible. He was amazing in this game. Jokic didn't miss anything. Did he have a triple double? No, he had 34,
No, he
12, and
missed it.
9 on 14. They shot a combined 19 of 43. Are you kidding? Or 29 of 43. Let me rephrase. They shot 67% from the field as a tandem. Like, what the hell are you gonna do? Like, I thought the Celtics played pretty damn good defense, and it just didn't matter.
To your defense point, Celtics only gave up 21 fourth quarter points. So it wasn't as bad as you might think. They did lose the second half by 8, which is kind of sucky.
They gave up.
But that was an offensive problem. It was not a defensive problem. After the first quarter, they buckled down and got it together on defense, and it was really cool to see. Second quarter was an excellent defensive quarter. Fourth quarter was a pretty good defensive quarter. 40% for Denver and 12.5 from 3. The only annoying part is the Celtics couldn't do anything about it. And that's why everyone's mad. That's why I'm mad, is because I can't rely on them to have a system to go to down the stretch. That's really what Porzingis is supposed to be. Again, 0-4 in the second half. I'm not going to be banging my drum today being like, you should have gave him the ball.
I still think
he didn't have it.
I know, but Joe admitted as much. Like, you should at least go to him in the post more, if not to get him shots, like to run plays for others. And I do think I'm not worried because this hasn't been a trend. And Joe said that after what loss was it? Maybe the Rockets, not the Rockets game, but the Thunder loss or one. I can't remember. Maybe the recent losses. One of them. He was like, it hasn't been a trend, so I'm not going to worry about it. We'll fix stuff. We'll adjust from this, but I'm not going to be concerned over something that hasn't like been a trend over the past season. I don't think the Celtics have been terrible in late games this year. I don't think it's been a trend, right? It's happened at times, but I think you use this game to adjust and fix it. You held the Nuggets to 102 points. Defense wasn't the problem, right? This Nuggets team is arguably the best team in the NBA, right? Defending champs, 2 of the best offensive players in the league, shot 67% from the field as a tandem, and you held them to 102 points. The problem was the offense. They scored 50 points in the second half. No, sorry. They scored 39 second half points. That's like unacceptable. You don't win games like that. And as much as I think, not in their defense, but like a part of it is they missed a shit ton of open threes, which sucks, right? Like, they weren't exactly having a ton of success inside either. It was just a bad offensive night. Like, Tatum didn't have it from 3. Jaylen didn't have it from 3. Tatum was struggling to find consistent looks inside. I thought the Nuggets did a good job of sending bodies at him when he got into the lane. Like, Jokic was always there. And then when he kicked it out, like I said, guys didn't really hit the open threes a lot. And so it was just a really rough offensive night. Again, credit the Nuggets. Jamal Murray was talking about it after the game. He said, yeah, there were a lot of adjustments, a lot of stuff going on both sides throughout the game. Like, it was a high-level game. And I think realistically, these 102-100 games, as frustrating as it is to watch the Celtics miss those threes and watch the Jays struggle, like, I think it's a testament to how good these teams are on both ends of the court. Like, I hate taking this angle because I know you don't like it, and I don't think it's a good excuse. But like the fact that the Jays shot that poorly from 3 and they struggled this much on offense and they lost by 2, like these are really good teams. It just sucked.
No, I
because
mean you could do that.
You know what I'm saying?
Tatum
Like
Brown were the absolute worst, and Jokic and
from
Murray
3,
were fantastic. No,
and they
were
lost by
bad.
2.
They were bad.
Jaylen is bad.
They're bad
I
today.
thought
they're bad.
Yeah.
They're
Okay.
You can say they're bad.
I guess, yeah. Tatum had a good. I thought Tatum had a good first half, and then
He had a good second quarter.
I guess, yeah, and then it crumbled in the second half. You're right, but the point is like the fact that they played this poorly offensively and they lost by 2 points to the defending champs. Like that's a testament to how good they are. Like if they can figure this out, learn from this game,
good.
like that speaks a lot to how much they can improve moving forward. And so, as much as I know Celtics Twitter is going to take this as the Celtics suck, the sky is falling. I just don't think, one, that's a fair approach, and 2, I don't think it's definitely not the way the Celtics have been acting all season. Like Joe Mazzulla has stressed this: take it game by game, don't get too high after the highs, don't get too low after the lows of pros, and it's working like a charm this season. And I think Tatum had a really, I don't know if insightful is the right word, that makes it probably sound a little bit more important than it is as a basketball quote, but like he said after the game, I gotta find it. We don't lose a lot, so when we do lose, it feels worse than it is, but it's just one game. We played a really good team today, so shit happens. Just got to get ready for the next one. Like, as much as you might hate to hear him say, we played a good team, shit happens. Like, I don't think that's him saying, like, whatever, we lost. I think it's him saying, like, we can't dwell on this. We got to learn from it and figure it out for the next game. And I think that's the correct mindset that the Celtics probably haven't had in the past. And I think that's important. Yes, it sucks they lost. Yes, it sucked they had a bad offensive night against a good team, which if you want to argue about trends, that happened against the Thunder too. So like that could be a trend. Although I will say the one constant, which is good, is you saw Jayson take on Shea in that game and play really well down the stretch. You saw the same thing with Jaylen on Jamal Murray down the stretch of this game, to give him some credit. Like he played phenomenal defense on Jamal. And so I think credit them on that sense, because I think we've seen too often in the past that they have this offensive breakdown paired with a defensive breakdown, like the Warriors game where Curry was getting anything, or a lot of times last year. Like they've sort of, turned the what's it called? The wheel, like closed off the hatch on one end. Like they're locking down the defense. They're getting that done. Now they just got to figure out the other one. I'm not concerned. I just think it's something they need to learn from. And that late game execution is the only thing that maybe borders on concern, and just like look for that moving forward. But at the same time, like you said, like we just saw that they can do it against the Timberwolves. It's just some shots weren't falling tonight. So I hesitate to even say like I'm concerned about it. It's just you got to find the consistency. I think that's the key. Sorry, my rant is over.
My concern level's at like a 3. Like I'm not concerned, but I'm not freaking out. I don't like to see them lose close games. This is why they didn't win a title the last 2 years.
Yeah.
But they've had plenty of instances so far that they've shown that they can compete and win close games. They have the talent to do so. Porzingis is a weapon. Mazzulla acknowledged that, like you said. So growth looks like it's in store. Final thought on this game. The 2-for-1. Bad. Always bad. Never good. Scal needs to be sent to the moon with his 2-for-1 circle jerk. You don't have to deal with it, but every single time they do it, he thinks it's the greatest. In this game, they did it in the first quarter. Tatum rolled the ball up, took a dumbass 3, so at least one of the 8 was dumb. Then they didn't score. In the third quarter, Drew Holiday took a step back 3, missed it. Then they set up the time so they would get the ball back. They give up an offensive rebound after Denver misses. And then Peyton Pritchard has to jump into some guy to get the shot off. Like, what? Why is this a thing? Like, yes, statistically, you have more opportunities to put the ball in the basket. It doesn't mean that you don't look like you're brain dead out there trying to do so.
Yeah.
Denver had an opportunity for a 2-for-1 at some point in this game. It might have even been the second quarter, and they didn't do it. And Jokic just posted up and got a good look. And they took their points. I'm going to have a day where I'm not doing anything. I'm going to go above the rim. What is it? High-low? What is the thing? With all the
high-low.
High-low?
Yeah.
And I'm going to find every single one. And we're going to see. We're going to see if this is bad or not.
I don't vehemently hate it as much as you do. I understand the analytical side of it, but it was I was gonna say, but it was bad tonight. But you know what? Fuck you.
It's always bad.
At all.
It's literally always bad.
Final thoughts. Let's see. Good Horford game. He's been super steady. He didn't have a great time against Jokic, but like fucking nobody did. So what are you to do? He had 10 rebounds, 3 offensive, 2 assists, made a couple threes. Porzingis struggled against Jokic, but again, the fuck do you want? Like, come on. He got really hot. He had 15 in the first quarter, finished with 21, which sucked.
Yeah, he had 15, then he fucked off. He said that's enough. That's enough of me.
Good D White game. Fine Holiday game, though he was kind of ineffective. He was a -12 in the night. That's actually not great. But I don't know. It's a tough game, man. It's a good team. Unfortunate that it ended like that. Got to fix the late game offense. That's my biggest takeaway. Also, I don't know if you saw this stat. 2 turnovers for the Celtics, and they lost. So it's, tough. I think the frustrating part was
annoying.
They took good care of the ball. It's just the shots weren't going down because, one, they couldn't get enough good looks, and the good threes they got, a lot of them just weren't falling at good times. Like they even had a couple possessions where they got like a million offensive rebounds and they just weren't going in. Like, I know you texted me about Tatum taking that step back after they had a couple offensive rebounds. Text. I know, but like all the shots were bad on that possession. Like, it just feels like the bad shots were ill-timed all around for the guys. The offense is just it for me. The late game offense against good teams. I think the defense was rock solid in this one, regardless of the fact that, I mean, realistically, Jamal Murray misses 2 of those contested middies, and this is a different game. But you can't think of it like that because that's not what happened, right? So
it's out of your control.
Exactly.
What is in your control is don't miss free throws. Try not to give up offensive rebounds.
What they shoot at the line? 10 of 14.
They missed.
Not amazing.
Yeah, they missed more.
10 of 13 for the Nuggets too, so it was even. 10 offensive rebounds for the Nuggets isn't great. I do think there were at least
Celtics got their fair share of offensive rebounds.
That's what I was going to say.
I'm not going to discredit them, but at the same time, they really gave up some timely ones, and it sucked.
I agree, but I also think there were a few of them that were just like, what the fuck, offensive rebounds were just bounced to the wrong place. And I think high volume 3-point shooting teams, that happens a lot more. Not that the Nuggets took a million, but it's, that's part of the game. Yeah, tough loss. Curious to know what the commenters think.
Funny quote
below.
Was there? Attacked Gary.
Oh yeah, he was asked about you. Yeah, Joe was asked about the Tatum layup in transition. Gary didn't even ask the question.
That's
and
assault then.
I know. He goes, all I kept thinking was Gary wants to shoot more layups. Talking about Gary Washburn, and we did. And he said, and then this was about the Tatum layup. He said, the best player has the ball in an opportunity, whether it's on 2 or 3 guys. He had a layup, he just missed it. That's kind of the way I thought in the moment too. It's just, like I said, I understand your perspective of you should probably pull it out and like wait for the final shot or wait for your help. But like I said, he got a layup, so it is what it is. Yeah, but tough.
That play single-handedly has made me second guess I don't really care if they call timeout at the end of games.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far at all. They got a layup. I don't think it. Again,
he got an out of control layup. He was stumbling around after he almost lost the ball. There's a reason he missed it. It wasn't an easy layup. Jamal Murray was still in front of him. Yes, he has 4 or 5 inches on. He was still there. He was still right under the basket. He wasn't open.
I thought it was an open layup. I need to rewatch it. I still can't watch the video.
You could rewatch it and tell me what you think.
If you I can't. The video's still up. The video's still up. I wish I could. Oh, okay. Let me see. The Wi-Fi at the Garden, I will say, ratless tonight. Okay. Horrendous. Had to use the public Wi-Fi. No, I can still find it. I think it's a little better now because people have left, but it was horrendous. Let's see if I can find it.
He gets past the top 2 guys. Jokic pokes the ball. He holds on to it, but then Murray's still there. Like, it wasn't wide open.
I'm trying to find it, but all I can see is the stupid fucking tech for hanging on the rim.
Yeah. That was bad too. We can talk about that while you look.
Bad in what sense?
Pro paralysis.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah, no, it's not his fault. He was literally going to die.
Okay.
He would have did like a triple flip off the rim like he was a gymnast if he didn't hang on the rim.
Yeah, I can't find it on Twitter. Am I stupid or
can't find it? Let me find. I'll find one and I'll send it to you because I saw
something posted. Okay, I searched Jayson Tatum layup, but again, I'm just getting a bunch of like other stuff.
It is.
Tough. You found it already? What did you search? What the hell?
No, because I saw some. Oh wait, no. This was the game winner.
I see it. I found it. I have it.
Actually, I think Noah posted it.
Probably. She posts everything. Credit to her. Was 1-on-3. Tough. Yes. Good poke up by Jokic. I still think he had a lane. I still think he could have gotten in there. I see Murray there, yes, but I still think this is it's a fine shot. I see your point a little bit more now rewatching that. I'll concede a little.
It just was harder than it had to be.
Yes. Yeah. It was more out of control than I remember it being. I do think it was almost like he was too far deep. Like he should have stopped at the TD Garden logo. Yes, I agree. I'm now rewatching it. I'm a bit more convinced on your side. But once he committed to it, it was just it was over.
The whole play was the Seinfeld video.
I understand a little bit more rewatching it, so I'll concede a bit. But as much as it wasn't a great shot, like best player, best moment, I understand what Joe's saying. Exactly right. So it is what it is. I also think that is a moment, again, rewatching it, where, like I said earlier, I think he let the refs not giving him calls almost like get in his head a little bit too much. Like he went in there, is like, you know what, fuck you guys, I'm gonna get a call anyways, or I'm gonna do something. You know what I'm saying? Like he took on the hero ball too much at that moment, which is a problem, right? So you convinced me a little bit rewatching it. You're right.
Both sides were bitching tonight. Jokic was letting them know. Both teams combined for 27 free throws. This was just not a free throw game, as it should not have been.
I know. I was gonna say there was some ref shenanigans on both sides. Like that, what was it? The fucking lane violation? Fuck off. What are we doing? Like
that was awful. I forgot about that.
Can we not? Yeah. Didn't matter in the end because it's all
they need to make a rule about that. I mean, listen, I'm not watching a whole lot of Aaron Gordon. But when he literally does like a fake start to his free throw to get them to jump, that's kind of fucked.
Yeah. It was cooked. It was the most egregious lane violation I had seen in a while. So you kind of had to call something.
They technically violated the lane. But
I know
it was
people violate the lane on every possession. It was dumb.
All right.
Anyways,
last question.
Yeah.
What is your take on the Porzingis over the back? Because I see people online really mad about it, but I didn't really think it was that bad of a call. He came flying in and hit him.
I understand why it was a call, and I'm not gonna like sit here and argue the call vehemently. The one point I do have to it wasn't a foul call is, by the time Porzingis grabbed it, the ball was like back here. It's not like he reached over him to get it. He like grabbed it over here. He just bumped him from behind. So like, I understand why you could argue like, oh, it wasn't over the back. He's literally reached straight up to grab it. He just bumped Jokic. I think it was a like on the scale of absolutely foul to not a foul, I'd probably put it like damn near in the middle and or like kind of probably let it go in the final 2 minutes of a game. But like, I understand why it was called, so I'm not going to argue it.
I was just curious because my take was like, I just kind of thought it was a foul.
Yeah, you get why, but whatever. It's tough. Anyways, thank y'all for tuning in. Let us know what you think of the comments. You think of the game in the comments. I can't speak. Appreciate it. Subscribe to How About Them Celtics, and I'll let Sam wrap it up.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening and watching today. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss any of our daily uploads. We're doing videos like these. We're doing the pods. We're doing Talking C's with Bobby Kravitsky. We're doing game recaps, which this is that. Film breakdowns, rumor breakdowns. We have all of it. I'm tired, man. Make sure you leave a like, comment. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple. You can follow us there, leave a 5-star review. You can also reach out to us via email, hbtcpod@gmail.com. We're recording later today as you're hearing this, so if you send in an email, we will get it and have time to read it on the show. So do that. You want to reach out to us on socials, it's at How About Them C's, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. The Facebook is just the name of the podcast. You can follow us there for our 30-minute pregame streams. They're there. They're on YouTube. They're also on Twitter. Jack's Twitter is at Jack Simone NBA. Mine is at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Tic-tac-toe.